Hey guys, it's KJ with Ford Life Coaching. I'm here today to discuss performance excellence. And when you think of excellence, I think of excellence in coaching, excellence on the field. And I'm here today with a top performer, Coach Ervin Bryson. Coach Ervin Bryson, let me tell you a little bit about him. It's a long list, so get ready, okay? So first of all, in high school, he was a 4-star athlete. He starred in basketball, football, track, and baseball, and he currently holds records in basketball, football, and track.
Yeah, football, baseball, and track.
Football, baseball, and track. And these records have not been broken since he was in school. Okay. Also, a little bit more about him is that he was a college running back. He was a college running back at Chowan, A&T, and Bowie State, Maryland. He played in the World League. He played in Frankfurt, Germany, and Taipei, Taiwan. I didn't really know that they were serious about football overseas.
Yeah.
Then he has worked out with, which is an invite-only situation, with the Seattle Seahawks. Am I correct?
Right, Seattle Seahawks.
In Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Pittsburgh. He played arena football with the Connecticut Coyotes. And during that time period, he actually injured his knee, right? And so you went from playing to coaching at that time?
Yep, sure did.
Okay. And as a coach, you what?
Cried like a baby first before I started coaching.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
So they say that the knee injuries are traumatic, so or it can be long lasting. So did you cry over the knee injury, or did you cry over not being able to play?
Cried over not being able to play. That
You know
was
what?
about it took about 2 months to get that out of my system. About 2 months of crying every day, all day, knowing that my career was over.
And some people don't realize the intensity or the time that people put into that. Because how long were you dreaming about playing football?
Oh, ever since I was a little kid. You know, you got to think about when I was a little kid, let's say if I was 7 years old, I was playing against guys who are like 20, 28 years old, right? And I became very competitive at a young age. And those guys would dominate with me, right? And I would compete back. And so when I played guys my own age, you know, I dominated them. So then I know when I competed against older guys, I knew someday that I could play professional sports, right? And so I prepared myself. I really, really trained to play in the NFL, you know, and to fall short like I did, man, it was kind of disappointing, very disappointing.
You didn't fall short. You just wound up taking a different pathway.
Right?
You wound up taking a different pathway because you can get people to the pros. And that's, you know, sometimes it's not even so much what we are thinking, it's what the people around us are thinking. Because I'm quite sure as you were preparing to live your dream and play in the pros, you had people telling you, oh, you can do it. Oh, yeah. You come to your hometown, you come home from school for the summer, people are talking about, oh, yeah, Ervin, he's going to be in the pros and all this other kind of stuff. So you have all this hype around you until when you let down. Sometimes when you don't make it, you feel like you're letting yourself down, but you also feel like you might be letting other people down along the way. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, that's absolutely correct. But it took me now to realize it because then I did not understand. I didn't feel that and I didn't understand that. Even though, you know, when things happen to you, people like to say, nah, well, maybe that's not God's path for you. You know, right then you don't want to hear that. And you don't see,
No.
You don't see that. You definitely don't want to understand that, right?
Right.
So,
well, are you God? Are you God? Did he talk to you, not talk to me about me? No, just kidding.
Because, you know, look, God, you know, this is not what we worked for. You know, we were grooming. You had me on the path to do this, and then you shift my path. But the path he shifted me to, God, what a great path he put me on. So I love coaching, really do. So I'm able to, like you just said, I'm able to help guys to get to the NFL in a better way than which the hard path that I took to go to try to get in there, it's much easier for other guys that I deal with. Because now I've gained a lot of connections that I can help a lot of guys.
Can you get me in the NFL? I'm just kidding. No, we're not trying to say she's back. We're trying to push it forward.
Listen to this. There are a lot of guys in the NFL that could use your energy, and they would be so much better off.
Wow. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I like that. I like that. But you know what? I just want to say something. I'm glad we're talking about this, and I know how humble you are, but I did not finish your resume of excellence. So, very first coaching job out the ranks. He coached a semi-pro national. He coached a team, his first team, the Greenwood Raiders in South Carolina, to the semi-pro national championship. Then he moved to head coach, GM, right? Several different locations to find his niche. He found his niche in Vermont, right? At the Vermont Bucks. And his very first season, he won the Can-Am championship. Then he moved forward. That was 2017. 1 year later, 2018, he fulfilled his dream of owning a team. So he came back to North Carolina, and so I saw Carolina Energy and Carolina Thunder. I'm seeing two teams. What's the deal?
They're just two different cities, but similar names, but
Okay.
totally different teams.
But you are Carolina Energy.
Yep, Carolina Energy.
So okay, so he saw.
And I coached the Winston-Salem Energy also.
Oh wait, so they're two separate teams?
Yeah, two separate teams.
Wow. So what's the difference between the Carolina Energy in Charlotte, or in the Charlotte area, and the Winston-Salem Energy?
So my first year as a head coach in arena football, I was the head coach of the Winston-Salem Energy, who played in a total different league. And that league no longer exists. That was back in 2003, 2004, somewhere along in that area there. So that league no longer exists. So when we started the team, the Carolina Energy in Charlotte, I wanted to go back to where I started from. And the word energy is because I feel like I'm energized in everything that I do. Then I decided to use that name all over again, the energy. So that's
okay.
why.
Well, I got a little energy story for you. So I've been watching you on Facebook. I watch your clips you're posting. First of all, let me tell everybody how we met. So I went to a restaurant. My cousin wanted something to eat. She was in Charlotte. I went to the restaurant in Charlotte. And while there, Ervin was with a friend of mine from college named Ruben Davis. And so while there, I said, you know what? I have this dream, this vision of opening a facility called Beyond My Expectations, and it would be designed for athletes, but modifiable for kids with autism. I said, and I really could use some insight on strengthening, how to ensure that individuals are receiving the strengthening that they need for greater performance. So I would inbox Ervin on Facebook, and I say, hey, look, what about this exercise, and what about this leg, and what about this muscle, and everything. And so no matter what I asked him, he would always respond. And I'm very, very grateful for that, because I realized that you're a busy person and you didn't have to take out the time to do that. So in the process of watching Ervin's Facebook post, right, he posted something last year about March, right around March. And it was him and his granddaughter racing, right? And so when I looked at the race, it looked like Usain Bolt racing the old Carl Lewis today. And Ervin was barefoot running against his granddaughter, and she beat him. Well, I don't know if she beat him, but she's 3 years old. And it was the cutest thing, because she was talking about how she won. So I don't know about that energy, because I think if we brought Tia back, she might show you up.
Hey, look, you gotta remember now, that was before I had my knee surgery.
Oh, no excuse. No excuse. If you're breaking records, then you wouldn't have broken a record on there. Somebody would have easily broken your record.
Hey, you're funny. You're really funny, right? Hey, we're talking me setting records when I was young. I was young and a real good looking athlete. Now I'm an old man with two bad knees. I can't keep up with that little girl. That little girl. Hey, my granddaughter's an athlete. She's gonna be something.
Is she really?
Oh, she is. And both of them are. Both of them are very talented. I can't wait to see when they start playing sports. I'm going to be that old granddad in the stand, just screaming, trying to coach, and wish that I could just sit back and enjoy and watch my grandkids play.
But you got to make the signs. So my daughter ran track, and I used to make signs that would say, "Go Blake," right? All these signatures around, and they were all my signatures. So it looked like she was popular. And I used to bring it to track, and she'd be like, "Oh, Mom, please don't do that again. Please don't do that again." So so you got to make the signs. I'll tell you a funny story. And you were running barefoot.
Yep.
I'm from Jersey, and my mother was really into fashion. She used to always send me to North Carolina with the shoes and the outfits and stuff like that. And my cousin lived near Gastonia, and she the guy that she was dating at that time had a lot of cousins. I had like 15, 20. It was a lot of kids, all I remember. And she would take me there and say, go play. Well, they weren't playing with like little board games and dolls and stuff like that. They were running in the street. Right. And so every time I would run, I would come in last, right? So they'd be like, go out there and run again. So they would have me run with kids my age, all the way down to the ones that were like, like 3 years old. And I had to take off my shoes and run barefoot because I wasn't allowed to mess up the shoes. I didn't want to mess up my good shoes. So I just remember running over and over and over again. But when I got to high school, I ran a mile and nobody could beat me. See? I mean, I would come in second. But the thing is, I wasn't serious about sports because my mom didn't want me. She really was not into the whole athletic thing. Right. But my coach would say, well, Kelly, all we need is 3 points today. Just get us 3 points. I say, okay, who do I need to beat? And so we never went into the technique of running. Like, this is when you pick up the speed and this is when you do this and all that other kind of stuff and the quick turn and everything. All he said was, Kelly, I need you to beat the girl in the red. Okay. Then I would get online. I would pace myself behind the person in the red, or, with the red hair or whatever, because they all had on the same jersey. And then, on the last 100 yards in, just pass her and win the race, or win past her, whoever the person was. So, but I got that. I think I got a lot of that endurance and go back and keep going from running barefoot in Gastonia. But running barefoot, I wonder if that also impacts injuries in any way. Like, do you think that does more harm?
No. That just running barefoot. Running barefoot, it just brings the other competitive nature out of you, right? You're yep.
More sensory input, you think?
Yeah, but see, think about it. If you compare where you at now and what you do now, and when you competing with somebody or going after something, it always go back to the race when you was running barefooted.
It does, because in the gym, like I do about, so I know you're gonna tell me that I'm doing this wrong, so I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I do about like 100 to 150 reps of the exercise that I do. But what I do is I do low weights. So I'll do like, some of the like the core ones and stuff like that, I just do like 100 hard. But like a lot of the weights that I do is I try to do, like 4 minutes at the gym, but it's all light weights and long reps. Right. And I think it goes once again into that whole endurance thing. I'm not really trying to build build muscle, just trying to tone.
Hey, so go back, let's compare and contrast right now. So let's go back to you running barefooted, right? Back then with the kids, back when you used to go visit. Mm-hmm. And then let's go back to when you were at the gym, you couldn't find no parking spot, and somebody assumed that you were being lazy. So you get you're working out, and the only do 50, you did 100. Why?
Yeah.
You see?
Because
you
that's just what I'm used to.
Ran, but you didn't. You want to compete and you want to beat them, right? But you wanted to do that extra 50 to show them that you weren't a lazy person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that really does go back to them, because I just remember every time it was like, go back again. And even though I went back, even with the little kids, I still didn't win. I mean, at the end of the summer, I was coming up close, but I don't even really recall beating the little kids. I just remember that I had the endurance because I kept going over and over and over and over again. So, but I do want to ask you, because we start off with performance excellence and the endurance and the training and how that makes a huge difference long term. And I'm wondering, post-COVID, people are coming back. There were some injuries that happened, during the off season. Supposedly there was an escalated amount of injuries. I have not been able to find any stats on the high rate of injury, but also at the same time, guess what? A lot of people were not going to get the medical care that they needed for fear of there being COVID in the office or whatever it may be. Some people may not have had health insurance based on what was going on with the economy. So now you may be dealing with unaddressed injuries or mass unaddressed injuries.
Right.
How have things been?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how have things been? I know that you started your tryouts, I think January 23rd, January 3rd, 23rd.
We report to camp March the 7th, and we'll start practicing actually like March the 10th or March 11th, you know. And that's what you're talking about, you know, that's one of the things that we had a meeting about, you know, a couple nights ago, talking about how do we prevent some of these injuries that some of these guys are about to happen, you know, going into a season, knowing that on the off season, they were limited to how much training that they could do, right? So we got to put these ball players in a situation where they can begin to get themselves in shape and still learn what they need to learn to make the team, but make sure that they don't hurt themselves in the process because of dealing with COVID. Because before COVID, you know, you can get out there and train, you can get in the gym, you can do so many different things that could prepare you mentally and physically to go out there and play the game that you love, right? But because of COVID, you have not been able to train, you have not been able to push yourself like you need to push yourself, because it's really hard to really train by yourself and get out of a workout that you need to get out of it. But when you got somebody that you're training with that's pushing you and you pushing them, you know, you get where you need to be at. But because of COVID, a lot of ball players are not as, the muscles are not where they need to be at. You know, they haven't had nobody to, because for me, big as my legs were, man, I had to have somebody stretch me out. I stretch myself, I'm not going to get that full stretch like I need to get. So those are some of the things that ball players are going to be dealing with going into camp. And if you saw this past season in the NFL, there were so many ball players hurt. Why? Because they didn't train properly like they needed to do before going into the season.
Wow. And then even after injury, they say that you really need to work on like the neuroplasticity, because there's that fear of failure. So for people who have been injured during the off season, sometimes they come back and they train too hard, and then, you know, that creates that tension, or they don't train enough, and that makes them more susceptible to a re-injury. What about that? Have you seen any of that in the past? Are you waving at me?
I'm raising my hand. That's me. That's me.
Okay.
That is
because you had two knee injuries, right?
That is me to the T. But me as a coach now would not allow a ball player to come back too soon, unless he's fully at 100%. We as athletes want to be able to make that next play. We don't want to sit on the sideline. We don't want to be that rah-rah, let's go get them, and not actually be a part. You know, that is the competitive nature that's within us, that we got to be out there. We got to be involved. We got to be able to do something to help our team win, because sitting on the sideline, that makes you not feel a part. So when ball players get hurt and they start rehabilitating, they start vamping them reps up to thinking that it's going to allow them to get healthy faster or sooner. And that's just not the case. You know, but we as coaches, we have to say, we have to let that heal. Because if you don't let it heal and you push yourself to get back out there and play, later on in life, you're going to be like me. You're going to have 2 knee replacements. And then you're going to be saying, I wish I would have just had somebody to protect me from myself. Because a lot of times as an athlete in the moment, we don't protect ourselves. All we know, let's go, put me in, coach. Let me make it happen. Let me help us win. And that's not the best decision for an athlete at that time. So sometimes as a coach, you got to say no. And in training, you can train too fast, or you can just do the right amount of training. And it just that you never know how recovery is going to turn out, so you can get back to performing.
What do you do during the in-between time? So what do you do while you're being benched, or what do you do, like, if you don't make the team this season? What do you do to prepare for next season?
It's all mental. That's when I love to talk about what you call 80-20. Like for my game, football, people know that's a contact sport. But for me, and the way I teach it, I teach 80-20. 80-20 is 80% mental, 20% physical. So now when you're hurt and you're injured, you have to play the game mentally in your mind. And once you play it over and over in your mind, and then now when you get an opportunity to get back out there the following year to play, the game is easy. It doesn't slow down because you already played it over in your mind. Now you're out there actually doing it and doing it better than what you were doing before you got hurt. So it's all about mental, getting the mental reps in and doing things that you can, like weightlifting. You can, if you hurt your lower body, you can always work your upper body. You know, there are things that you can continue to do without actually getting out there to prepare yourself for the future.
So after your knee surgery, what did you do to help you heal so quickly and get back out there again? Because you healed in record time. So what did you do?
I did.
Or I forgot, or is it just because you're just Ervin Bryson? Is that what it is?
yeah, it was. I tell you what. Hey, the doctor made me a couple times not work out at all. And I thought it was so funny because I was so eager to get back. I knew it was going to be a long journey before I had the procedure done. So I actually treated my surgery like I was getting ready to go into the season and actually play a game. And so what I did is I dropped some weight. That was the best thing I could have done before having my operation. Before I had the operation, I was weighing like 276. And by the time I had the operation, I was down to like 260. And then after the operation, I got all the way down to 235, which was my playing weight. So how I did that, I totally changed my diet. I started exercising a lot more, and I got the soup diet that I eat. And I just eat nothing but soup. And I would drop different types of meat in it. And it was morning, noon, night. That's what I ate. And all of a sudden, weight started peeling off. So everywhere I go now, everybody like, what's going on? You on crack or something? How'd you lose that weight? But the good thing is my knee felt awesome. My knees haven't felt this good in like forever.
Wow. So now you're ready to give T a run for her money, huh?
No, I'm not saying that.
now you think you can hold out. Watch out, Carl's coming back, right?
Hey, I'm tell you something. My grandkids are big trash talkers. I don't know where they get that from, but they love to talk trash. Especially today, they call me Big Ervin. They don't call me Granddad. They call me Big Ervin. So they are two trash talkers. I think they get it from their uncle, you know.
Yeah, nothing like you. That they would not even think of getting anything like that from you. But that's what makes games. That's what makes the game so fun. Teaching them character and personality early on, you know, because later on, when life doesn't do what you expect life to do, laughter is always the best thing to fall back on. You know, to have that. Because what?
Things are gonna happen.
Yes.
Things are going to happen in life that is out of the blues, and you just gonna have to figure out how to deal with it. And again, you know, and this is one of the things I love about you the most, is that I know you go through things in life, right? But think about the energy that you put out there that you want to get back. And you put a lot of energy out there. And I tell ball players that all the time. What you put out is what you're going to get back. So you find somebody that got a lot of energy, that's who you want to be around. That's who you want to deal with.
Yes. Because otherwise you just get drained, you know? I mean, you can't really, you can laugh by yourself, but, you know, that might not be too good sometimes. But, you know, you do want people to compliment you, to push you, your yin and your yang, you know, the yin and the yang.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something. So we already know that you're a great athlete. We already know that you're a great coach with all your championships, and that you got a little bit of personality. I mean, you know, almost as much as me. You're doing okay. You're doing okay. But with all these great things, I'm quite sure a lot of people would want to play for a championship coach. So when you're out there recruiting and you're looking for athletes, what are some of the things that let you know that I'm working with someone who desires the same type of performance excellence that I do, that like they're striving, they want it, they're hungry, and they're going to commit? What are some of the things that you like to see?
So one of the things, my first thing when I meet a guy that says he want to play for me, I ask him, the first question I ask every ball player this: what's your story? What is your story? And I like to listen to what their story is, what they've been through in life, why they're sitting here now talking to me. Because if you're talking to me, something went wrong in your career. And I am the person that's going to turn your career back around and get you in the right direction that you need to go in. Once I have that conversation with that guy, because I already know whether he's a good or bad athlete, that conversation tells me if I want that kid within my circle. Because it's very important. You just can't let any athlete in your circle. If you do, that athlete could potentially come in and just tear your whole foundation down that you have built off of character, respect, and all that stuff. I look for things like that in young athletes, because if you got some kind of compassion, you have heart, you got a drive for something that you love to do, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get yourself to that next level, then you're somebody I want to work with. But if you're all about yourself and you're not family first driven, I don't want no part of you. Because if you're around me long enough, like my brother who's been my defense coordinator for 17 years,
Wow.
Everything that we do is all about family. If you can be a part of our family, we can help one another. But if you can't be a part of our family and we work at it together, I mean, why should we be in the same circle? So you have to be willing and wanting to listen for once. Sometimes you talk to kids, and I can't stand this. I hate this. If I'm talking to a kid and I'm trying to explain, and the kid goes, yeah, that drives me crazy, because of the fact, yeah, to me means that you want me to shut up so that you can go do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You really don't understand, because if I call that play and you go out there and you mess up, you just told me, yeah. All kids does that. All kids do that. They're yeah kids. So once they learn me and they understand what kind of coach I am, then they know how to have a conversation with me so that I can help them. Because one thing I am going to do, I'm going to help you with every ounce of energy within me to get better. But I got to know that you're willing to listen and do the necessary things to make yourself get better.
Have you ever trusted in someone and thought that they were going to do it and they didn't do it? Have you learned by mistake? Put it to you that way.
Yes, I have. And that's why now I have a very small circle. I only have a few agents that I do deal with. I don't have to go out and recruit ball players like I used to. Now their agents will call me and they will send me ball players that fit my system. Because they know I'm very picky. They know I don't have patience for no BS. And I know what direction that I'm going in. And if that ball players are willing to go in that same direction, I'm going to deal with them. But I have zero tolerance for BS.
Wow. That's good. That's why you're a championship coach, right?
I get lucky sometimes when,
No, it can't be luck. Can't be luck. I was talking to somebody else who was a championship coach, and they were telling me that it was luck, and I said, I just can't believe it. When I see the skill, the effort, the talent, the technique, and just the way that the team works together in unison. I mean, when you know your teammates, when you know the people around you, you know who you can rely on, you know who's hungry, who's on that at that moment, etc. I think it's more than luck. I mean, we know it's more than luck. I know you're just being funny and just being humble as you always are. So if someone wanted to, go ahead.
What you said, you just said it so perfect. I embody everything that you just said. And that makes me smile. That what makes me smile when I'm coaching. I love it.
Seeing it come together.
Yep. Yeah, I love it.
If someone wanted to play for your team, right? Someone wanted to play with you. And why would they choose arena football over, I don't know what the other football is called, arena over semi-pro. Why would you choose one of the other? What's the difference? I know arena's fast, but explain a little bit more to me.
Yeah. So arena football is about 5 times faster than the NFL. Okay. And if you can play arena football, you definitely can play in the NFL. It's just whether or not your mental capacity can play in the NFL. Can your ability play? Yeah, it can. But can you mentally play in the NFL? Can't everybody say that? Because you've been around a lot of people say, oh, I can do that, or I can do this, or I can do that. But when you actually get out there and you play the game, it's so much different. So arena football is so much faster. Semi-pro football, it's a good game, right? But it's just a step below the arena game. So if I was a kid, if I was a guy, I would definitely play semi. If I don't go to college, I would definitely play semi-pro. I would play semi-pro for a year, get me some film, and then the following year I would play arena football. And then once I play arena football, I get film, then I work towards trying to get in the NFL.
Wow. So would you go straight to the NFL or would you go to the Canadian League?
Hey, whichever one takes me. Yeah, which one, if you can't, your ultimate goal is you want to be in the NFL, right? But if you can't get in the NFL, definitely you want to play in the Canadian Football League. And if you can't get in the Canadian Football League, again, that's always arena football. But there's so many different leagues in arena football.
Oh, really? So explain to me.
So there's what you call the IFL. There's what you call the CIF. There's
I saw that.
The AAL, the NAL, and all the leagues are really the same for as pay-wise, but they just ran different. That's it. And all of them have different guidelines when it comes down to how to operate and run their teams in their league. That's the only difference. All the leagues are pretty much the same. They just have a different name and different guidelines. That's it.
And then do the leagues compete against one another like please forgive me for not knowing, do the leagues compete against one another for like a championship is it a championship within one league or a championship amongst all the leagues?
It's a championship within the league itself. It would be nice if the leagues would cross over and play a championship game, I think that would be really, really cool. I definitely would love to play some teams in the NAL, some teams in the IFL. I think those are two other quality leagues that is out there, and I would love to play some of those teams.
Well, you're an originator. You own a team. You can talk to some people, try and get something going. You can even get like a scrimmage or something started.
Well, right? The thing is getting the permission from your league to be able to play another league like that. It's very hard to get your league to cross over and play another league like that. It's a lot of, it's political. Let's say that's very political.
But there's hope.
Yeah, definitely is hope.
There's always hope. There's always hope. There's always room. If somebody wanted to play for you, what could they do today? So they would not be able to try out until when? When does the tryout start?
Well, we always start our trials at the end of the season. And 1st August is always our first trial. We take a couple months off after the season over. But let me say this right here about trying out for me. And you can let's say, not only just me, any team. Because I have a problem with a lot of athletes that go and try out for teams or want to play on a team, but they don't know nothing about the team.
Yes, I heard that in your recording.
And they don't know nothing about the coach. They don't know nothing about the system, because playing on any football team or any team, period, every team has its own system. So imagine if you went and worked out for that team and you knew what type of ball player they were looking for, and you were able to do some of the things that they like, and you were able to show a talent or a gift that they need. And then immediately, I would say that kid fits into my system, because those are the things that I like. But you cannot go to a workout like a lot of these guys do, and they don't know nothing about this team. They know nothing about the system. They know nothing about the rule. Our rules are arena football rule, totally different from regular football. Outside, you sprint 20 yards, you're still in bound. In our game, you sprint 20 yards, you're going over the wall, and that's the difference.
Wow.
Most guys don't understand that. So they think that they can duck their head and keep running. Keep running. You're gonna be ran in the wall or ran into the locker room or something like that, But you got to learn those little things. So that's why I say it's hard for a lot of guys to just come to a tryout and play for me because they don't know me or they haven't learned me.
So March 27th, I need to come see a game.
Yeah. Yep. March 27th. So
is that a home game?
Yeah, we have a lot of home games. We have 8 home games. 8 home games. So, definitely I want to get you to come to a ball game. I'll make sure I get you some passes to come, because I know you like to travel with your daughter. So we can put 2 tickets together. But the governor had just passed the law, so passed their up to percentage to 15% can come into the arena. So on 8,200 seat arena, that's about 1,200. Yeah, 1,230 fans, somewhere in that neighborhood. So first, could nobody come into the arena the day of the game, but both teams and the official. That's it. In the training.
What was that like?
Oh, that was rough. That was rough.
Do you think that impacted like the morale, the player morale?
It really doesn't. It does. Yeah, let me take that back. It does, because you always want fans in the stands. But the thing is, all of our games are going to be televised. So even though we don't have people in the arena, we know the eye in the sky is watching. So there are we're going to be able to show our games all over the country. So we'll be making that announcement pretty soon. So that's going to be very interesting. So a lot of people are going to be able to see our ball game.
Wow. And so for the 1,200 that do go to your games, like, what is the process? I mean, is there like a temperature check or something like that they have to do before they can actually be allowed in the arena?
Yep. So everybody that comes in the arena have to have a temperature check. And then before and after the game, they're going to spray all the seats that people are going to be sitting in. They're going to spray it down. They're going to spray the locker rooms down. Everywhere we go, somebody's going to come behind us and spray.
Wow.
It's crazy, but this is the new way.
And what do they do with the field?
Well, the field, if there's nothing going on, the field stays down. But if they have an event going on, they're going to take the field up. But, my partners that owns the team also, he has a wrestling company. So after our ball games, all our games are going to be at 3:00. And then once we clear out, they're going to put a wrestling ring, and it's going to be wrestling in the arena right after our ball game.
Wow. What kind of wrestling?
Professional, PW something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my cousin does the MMA one where they like kick and stuff.
Oh, that's tough.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he does the other one.
Yeah, that's tough. That's crazy right there. I mean, God almighty. And wrestling, at least you know you're gonna get a fake hit, but MMA, nah, man.
Woo! I know. I saw some of the videos, and I saw one guy whose leg went out, and I said, I can't do that. I said, look, but you know what? I will go to his game. He's a belt winner. He's a champion. I said, look, I will go to the game, and I promise you, I'll sit in the parking lot, and I'll be there when it ends and everything like that. But if something happened to him, I would just hurt so much. I can't do it. When I was younger, when I was in high school, I played field hockey, right? And so I played my sophomore, junior, senior year, because I was kind of a jock, and I just wanted to do something to be active, right? So I played field hockey, and I told you, my mother is very prissy, and my mother was gorgeous, right? And so she went to one of my games, one field hockey game. And so, field hockey, you got the stick, and you can hear it when the stick hits the ball, right? Like that, right? Like tap, like a crack. And so my mother's in the stand like, oh Jesus, don't hurt my baby. Oh Jesus. So my coach, she said, Coach McGuire, she said, Kelly, you can tell your mom she can go home now. It's okay. It's okay. Because my mom could not take it at all. She was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. So, you know, she was really not into the whole sports thing. And I feel like I'm getting some of my mom in me because, like I said, like that, I've seen the sport and I just like, you know, I just don't want anybody to hurt, you know, so, but yeah.
Your mom sounds like the lady. Your mom sounds like the lady from Love and Basketball.
She could be, but I will tell you this. My mom and my dad, they used to go at it with basketball. So they had a basketball. So my mom and my dad were like best friends. Like they used to play spades and talk junk. They used to play bidwiz and talk junk. And they used to play basketball and talk junk. And so my mom, as gorgeous as she is and as proper as she is, she was mean with that basketball. Like when she and my dad would go out there and play in the backyard, they had a, you know, like a rim on top of the garage. You remember those where you had the rims on?
Yeah, I remember that.
She would go at it. I was like, oh my God. But she never allowed me to play, you know, never wanted me to play. She wanted me to do piano and, you know, all that other kind of stuff. So I, you know, I played the same song for 2 years because I was like, I don't want to play the piano, I want to dance. But I said, I don't want to do this.
Maybe she didn't want you to be as competitive as she was because she know being very competitive what it did to her. So she wanted to keep you away from that.
Probably. I think, you know, my mom was just a Southern belle in so many ways. Like I said, she was just gorgeous, and everything that she did, she was into etiquette and all that other kind of stuff. And so my dad, on the other hand, I'm an only child. So my dad, on the other hand, he and I would take like hammers and like, you know, put shells in and do plumbing and all that kind of stuff. So because he did so much of the rough and tough stuff, she felt as though she could compensate by doing, you know, the more feminine girly stuff. So she just didn't want me to do all that rough stuff all the time. But yeah, I put up a shelving unit, not a, you know, the closet organizer in my house. My ex-husband and I put up a closet organizer in our house. And the side that I put up was perfect. And the side that he put up, it fell down. And we had to actually get wood blocks and put them in the wall to keep them up and stuff like that because it fell down. And then I was the one that actually repaired that area. So yeah, I was kind of like, you know, I was that girl who did that kind of stuff. So I think that she just wanted to make sure that I had both sides of the coin. Do you know what I mean? Exposure to both. So, but so if someone wants to play for you, right? If someone wants to play for you, what should they do, or how can they get in contact with you, or what would they do next? You were telling me something about August, and I apologize.
So what they would do with this, they would go to info@charlottethundercom, and they would send over email. And young lady by the name of Michelle, she will receive that email, and she will find out what your interest is of playing on the team. And first thing is, we want to know if you have some type of film. And if you have film, you'll send that email over. And if you have ever worked out for a professional team before, we would want to know what those numbers are. So we'll have something to compare when you come and work out for us. And we'll be able to see, have you improved from what you did with them till now. And then once we see all of that, we'll invite you to a workout. You come out and work out, we'll get a 40, shuttle, run you through some drills, do some one-on-one, and then put you in a team situation, see if you can run out, you know, fit into our system. And then once we see what you're capable of doing, if we like you, we'll offer you a contract on the spot. Come in and play for us.
On the spot? On the spot? Wow. Okay. So let me ask you two questions. One, you said that film. So what should be in the film that they send you?
Well, one is, yeah, I'm glad you said.
What's a nice? We know what the general stuff is. Everybody puts in there. But I'm saying if they put this in there, it really stands out. Tell me one thing that extra that they could put in there, or something that really stands out.
Hey, let's say this. One thing, don't do not put no rap music on top of your highlight tape. It takes away from your tape. So leave it. If you're gonna put some music on there, put some nice beat or something like that on there. All that rapping and cursing, you gotta take that out. I know for me as a coach, if I hear all of that stuff on top of a video I'm supposed to be looking at, I won't watch it. Right? So try not to do that. So some of the things, it depends upon what position you play. Well, you play on the offense, you know, me, I specialize in offense. So whether you play receiver, quarterback, there are things that I look for. Whether if you're a quarterback, how well are you a running quarterback or you're a throwing quarterback? If you're a wide receiver, or you're a physical wide receiver, or you're just a speedy wide receiver, or you're a receiver that runs nice routes. Your offensive lineman, you have you got aggressive kick step, all of that. Those are different things that we look for. You know, if I see some of those things and that I think that can fit into what we're doing, then I would want to invite you into our camp.
What if they gave you like a testimonial of some of the things that they do? Like, what if they write it, or if they have somebody send them like a reference letter stating that this is what this person's specialty is? Does that help or not really?
No, not really. Because I know you, Kelly. Kelly is a wonderful, beautiful, pretty lady that loves to smile. She loves life. She enjoys going out, doing things. She's a adventurous person. You know, those are true things about you, right? What if I didn't know you and I was just making these things up to sell you to somebody else? I would see right through that right quick. So writing me a letter would not help you out at all. I actually need to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share that you think people should know about you, about the team, about anything? And you did say, oh, that was the second thing. I know. Remember I said two? The one was what else should they add? But number two was, see, you said Charlotte Thunder. And that's why I keep getting the Thunder and the Energy confused. So.
Well, we used to be the Energy. Remember, we used to be the Carolina Energy. And then when Thomas Davis came on and took over the team, we changed the team to the Thunder, to Charlotte Thunder. So Thomas wanted the team to take on the Charlotte name. So that's why we changed it to Charlotte Thunder, and we changed the colors.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard you say Thunder, but I saw Energy. So I wasn't sure what the difference is. So now everything should be addressed Charlotte Thunder, not Charlotte Energy.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. And then you go to Charlotte Thunder. And if you want to follow us, you go to charlottethunder.com.
Okay. Excellent. Is there anything else you can think of that people need to know about performance excellence before we close? Yeah, anything in particular?
Yeah, one of the things is that one is when you're training and when you want to do something, such as go to the next level in football, baseball, basketball, or whatever, get yourself a trainer. Get you somebody that's going to be able to train you to get to the next level. Don't try to do this thing on your own, right? Have a plan put together, all right? Have a team put together that's going to help represent you. You can't represent yourself.
Who's on the team?
Next level, you have to get somebody to represent you, right?
Who's on the team? You said get a team together. Who's on the team?
Say what now?
You said get a team together. Who's on the team? Well, who's on your team?
You're going to get a trainer. You're going to get a coach, a representative to help talk to an NFL scout or somebody to get you an opportunity to get a tryout. You're going to get you a trainer who that you can go after you get through working out. You can go and say, okay, my ankle is bothering me, my knee is bothering me, my shoulder. What kind of treatment I need to get, whatever. And then you need to figure out what you need to be eating, right? Those things right there are very important. All right, don't forget number 5. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with all the right people. You cannot try to go to the next level and doing the same old things. They don't go hand in hand. When you're trying to go to the next level, you are daring to be different. When they're going out and partying, you're going to the weight room. When they're riding around all day chip, you got to be out there on the field running sprints. When they want to do whatever, you got to be watching film. Dare to be different in what you're doing and don't care what nobody say about you and what you're doing. You got to go for you. Those people over there are going to continue to stay over there and say and do whatever. You determine your outcome. So if you don't put nothing in, you're not going to get nothing out. So put all of you into it. If this is what you want to do, you got to go for it. not half, whole. Bottom line.
And I've seen also, and you are a motivational speaker, right? And just now you got me motivated. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go get my tea, right? So that wasn't good. I told you I was a runner. I should be done with it.
Let me tell you. If I motivate you, I'm honored because
Really?
you stay motivated. You stay fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Things come your way sometimes, try to trip you up. But guess what? You always overcome, right? You got to get back up, come up with another plan. Hey, let's get over it.
I like that. I like that. You might be a good motivational speaker. No, no, you are a very, very good motivator, obviously, because you coach teams to success and etc. But you also motivate. You provide motivational speeches on an individual basis or company basis or collaborative or group basis. How can someone get in touch with you for that? And what do you talk about in your speeches?
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about that. Okay. I tell you what, let me tell you the short. You can reach me at ervinbryson@yahoo.com. That's one of the emails. You want me to speak, you want to reach me, you can email me at ervinbryson@yahoo.com. I grew up in the projects. I'm from a family of 10. I got recruited by 110 different colleges coming out of high school. And
wow.
And I committed to go to Clemson, but I couldn't pass the SAT. So I ended up going to junior college, and things kept happening, but I never gave up. So it's a lot. You're tenacious. It's a lot. So now it's important for me to tell my story, and it's important for me to give motivational speeches because there are a lot of people need them, right? And I got to share my story and tell my story because I could have gave up a long time ago. So I've made myself very important. Not only have I, in 18 years of doing this, not only have I been a head coach, but I've been a GM also. So you find me as a head coach, you can't get rid of me as a GM because I'm making you money. So I'm very relevant and I'm very important. So that's how you got to sell yourself. You just can't do one thing. You got to do multiple things. There have got to be multiple reasons why I want you on my team and around me, right? So make yourself worth more than what you are because you are worth it.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you have that oomph. I didn't know about the 10 children, about being a part of a family of 10, but I just think that's dynamic that you can stand out amongst, once again, like I said, a family of 10 and in that environment. Right now, or as I say, in this environment right now, we need more motivational speakers. We need more insight. We need more hope. That's what this video is about right now. It's just really providing seeds of hope and helping people to get beyond impasses. There's so many people right now that are struggling or challenged with anxiety and depression and sadness. And I was telling someone recently that I read a survey where they said 70% of young adults were stating that they had that depression and anxiety were major factors in their life, and 26% said that they were minor factors, right? These are young adults. I think it was like ages up to age 19. But the bottom line is, you got 70 and you got 26. That's only 4% that said that anxiety and depression weren't major factors. And a part of that is that with COVID, it has caused a lot of people to change and to rethink. A lot of businesses have closed down. Some people have lost their job. Some people have had to move home, relocate, etc. So with all this change, right? How do I move forward? How do I keep going in the direction of that dream? And so someone like you providing a motivational speech as to how to get to the next level is so key and so valued right now. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you shared your information and people had access to you beyond this video. But Ervin, I just,
Can I say this one last thing?
Of course you can. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, and if you're I'm gonna say this. I'm trying to keep it short. If you're an adult, you're a motivational person. If you could reach out to some high school kids that are student athletes, if you can reach out and talk to them, those are the kids right now that are very depressed. Why are they very depressed? They're very depressed because of the fact that they are not being able to participate in their senior year of any type of activity right now because of COVID. They may look like they got it all together. I promise you, they are depressed. They're going through something serious. And it's going to take you as an adult to find a way to spend a little time with them to help them to overcome and get through this right now, because this is some really tough time. To think about it, you done went to school for 12 years. In your senior year of high school, you cannot participate in no activity because of COVID. So there's a lot of kids depressed because of that.
I see two things. One, that school is a place where you are validated, right? So we can assume what our strengths are. You know, we could feel kind of confident in a certain way, but when we have a teacher and when we have peers and when we have, you know, test scores that validate where we are or our strengths and where we excel and give us guidance and direction on where to go, that gives us so much more oomph in doing whatever comes next, right? So you need that little boost sometimes because we get stagnant. And so taking individuals out of that environment of affirmation and validation can be a stressor, can get individuals depressed. The other thing that I was going to say with regards to not getting to the next level with regards to sports is, I look at it this way. You know, I have two sons with autism that, you know, people are like, oh my God, you got your son to roller skate. I was like, yeah, he roller skates, he swims, he does all kinds of things. But when I talk to people, what I say is, and I learned this from my sons, and you know that my daughter competed in the USA Track Field National Junior Olympics, age 10, she scored 8th in the nation. If you take a child, right, and you teach them 2 + 2, right? And then you keep every single day teaching them 2 + 2, what happens? They get bored. If I ask you every day what's 2 + 2, then you get bored. Or if I come to you every single day and give you peanut butter and jelly, right? You get tired of peanut butter and jelly. So because adolescents have the highest amount of gray matter mass on their brain, that means that they are the quickest to learn, the quickest to retain, and the quickest to apply new knowledge, right? You have the greatest amount of gray matter mass on your brain during your adolescence time period, right? So if you are receptive and ready to learn and ready to go, and all you keep getting is 2 + 2, or all you keep getting is peanut butter and jelly, then yes, you start to get depressed and sad because it's, and you're ready to learn, you're ready to do something new. So sometimes hearing a new voice, or hearing a voice that speaks the way you speak,
true.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Can be that one thing that gets that kid on fire and gets him back on track and ready to go. And sometimes as a teacher, you know, I've spoken to teachers who've been teaching a long period of time. And one of the things that they'll say is, you know, they don't do it like they used to do it. Well, no, they don't do it like they used to do it because you didn't do it like your parents did it, et cetera, et cetera. And so sometimes it takes, that hair. So sometimes it takes that new, exciting voice who's talking their language. You're talking football. How many kids want to play football? Or how many, you know, how many girls want to learn about football? I mean, you know, just kidding. But how many girls want to learn about football so now that they can talk to the guys about football? So football is hot. And if you can come in and, like I said, talk that language, it actually can help a lot of people get that spark, that fire, when, once again, a lot of things might seem like they're eating peanut butter and jelly, or, you know, lessons might seem like peanut butter and jelly every day, or think about, you know, 2 + 2. So kind of a corny analogy, but, you know, that's
makes sense.
Kind of corny. So, cool. Well, listen, Ervin, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate this. Yes, you are phenomenal. I just want to see you and Tia get out here one more time. I want to see if you can come back. I'm believing in Carl. I'm believing in you, Carl. I'm believing you can get Usain. It's just one more time. Just one more time. But
she'll blow me out the park.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, I loved her determination, but I loved her excitement about the whole thing. So such a blessing to see. But thank you once again for everything. And thank you guys, everybody, for listening to KJ of Forward Life Coaching, talking about performance excellence. I hope this gives you guys some ideas on how you can get to the next level and whatever your performance goals may be. Thank you again. Okay. I'm going to have to sign out because for some odd reason, it always records me.
All right.